Hey, what's up you guys? Bloody Jacob here to bring you a sort of special video for my channel with Godzilla Resurgence, or Shin Godzilla, the new Japanese Toho Godzilla film, getting its North American US release next month in October. I'm thinking it's playing in theaters around October 11th through the 18th in various locations throughout the country. I thought I'd take this opportunity to go into some of my personal favorite Japanese Godzilla movies of all time. Because if you guys didn't know, I am a die-hard Godzilla fan. I've been a fan of him since I was in kindergarten, since I was basically a baby. And Godzilla has a very special place in my heart, and he's still one of my favorite things in general just nowadays. I really like the 2014 American film. I can't wait for the sequel to it. And of course what's to follow with Godzilla vs. Kong and such. And as far as Shin Godzilla or Godzilla Resurgence goes next month, I have my concerns with it, but as a fan I'm definitely willing to see it for sure. And I really just want to make Godzilla more of a presence on my channel. With as big of an impact as the characters have in my life, I feel like I need to make it more of a, again, more of a presence on my channel. So we're starting with one of the very first Godzilla movies I ever seen, and still one of, if not my absolute favorite Godzilla film to this day, and that is Godzilla 2000. And this one was released back in December of 1999, just before 2000 hit. And this is sort of like Toho's answer back to that first American Godzilla movie in 1998, which was met with pretty horrendous reception, to say the least. And even if you're someone like my girlfriend who gets more of a laugh out of seeing certain Japanese films, even she's seen that this version of Godzilla, at least Godzilla himself, was a superior take on the character. So I think Godzilla 2000 is definitely a good answer back to the first American Godzilla movie. And I remember I seen this and I seen King Kong vs. Godzilla, which is a weird combination, the first Millennium movie against the film from the early 60s. But yeah, I own both the VHS and a DVD copy of this movie. VHS. That was a thing at one point. And then of course the DVD copy here. So I just really love this one, and part of it is probably the nostalgia factor for me. It being pretty much the first Godzilla movie I've seen. But I do think it is legitimately one of the better ones I've seen throughout the whole series. I do own almost all of the films. I only have like a few left to actually buy. I've seen them all before, so. The plot, it is pretty simple. It's its own separate continuity. Godzilla is already known to have existed for a while, and with that, there's like this mysterious new UFO that appears in the sky, and of course they're questioning what its intentions are, whether it's good or evil, whether it's going to try to destroy them, or what exactly it's doing here. And of course, meanwhile, you have this other side of it where you have this research team who's trying to actually study Godzilla and certain like qualities about him. They go into his regeneration a little bit. They end up dubbing it Regenerator G1. Of course, I'm talking about the dubbed version. And meanwhile, you have this other dynamic between the leader of that team with this leader of the sort of the I forget what they call the organization, like the CSI or something like that. So with the research team, you have a guy named Shinoda, leading out with his daughter, and then you have this guy named Katagiri, who is part of the CSI, whatever you want to call it. And I always remember the dubbed voice for the Katagiri character. My missiles will go through Godzilla like crap through a goose. I guess I'll just have to send more flowers. Ha 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 ha. So yeah, the dubbings are your typical, things for these types of movies, but it sticks in your head, whether that's a good or a bad thing. Can you tell or not right now?
Yep. You have your dirty? Oh, I thought you were Jacob. Tell Jacob I need to start clothes for the laundry. He's just reading something right now. He's what? This is what he is. Oh, is he? Oh, okay. So you want me to come back this place a bit later? Okay.
Sorry about that, guys. Anyway, so yeah, that dynamic going on. They try to put in this whole little, backstory that they kind of briefly go over between Shinoda and Katagiri, as well as one of Katagiri's assistants. And that's alright. I actually was a little bit interested in it, because I think Katagiri was a likable character for these. Not Katagiri, Shinoda was a likable character for these types of movies. A lot of times the human characters don't really stick out much. They're all pretty similar. And again, it's probably part of the nostalgia for me, but I found Shinoda to be a pretty likable guy, and of course he wants to defend Godzilla and research him. He thinks there's something special about him and he should be contained, not just destroyed and such. So yeah, that's kind of your basic plot for any Godzilla movie, and it's not really a big deal. We're not watching it for the human side of things anyway. We're going to see the big G. So, and Godzilla himself in the movie, the suit's really cool. It's one of my favorite suits, along with the 90s, I think, especially the Godzilla vs. King Ghidorah one. But I think this is one of the more unique looking Godzilla suits we've gotten. It definitely was a jump from the 90s version, which is more of like your basic, what people think of as like your basic default Godzilla design. Godzilla 2000 sort of took that and made it a little bit more exaggerated, with the spines being bigger, a little bit spikier sorta, and just Godzilla scales in general like sticking out a little bit more. I thought it looked really cool actually, and it's definitely one of the better looking suits, I think, in my opinion, and definitely one you're going to remember. And they also have Godzilla's atomic ray be more of like a orange sort of ray mist type of thing, which is really cool. I think it worked pretty well, and the effects they use for it, like when it actually collides and hits something, I think it looks pretty good personally. And again, I'm someone that grew up with this stuff, so I'm kind of used to the way they do certain effects, and of course if they set up with their miniatures and such. And eventually you find out that the UFO is carrying this alien, and we fans know him as Orga, or it, or she as Orga. I forget what gender it is. But I think Orga was, a decent foe for Godzilla. I wouldn't mind seeing it again. I think the final battle was actually pretty awesome, especially the finale of it. There's like one little scene like where they show Godzilla swimming underwater. It's done in complete CGI. It doesn't look that good. I don't know why they just went with a full CGI there, because I've seen other movies where they have like this look of Godzilla still being in the suit underwater, and it looks a lot more consistent with what they've been showing in the rest of the film. But this, they just go complete CGI for that scene anyway. So I felt like that was a little bit weird, but it's still kind of a cool moment to know Godzilla is still out there and sort of like on his way, sort of. And I also, of course, love the music, the score in this movie. Of course, it's sort of a different rendition of the Godzilla music we've heard before, the iconic beat, like doon 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 doon. It's awesome. And I think in both versions the score is pretty good, especially the version I have grown up watching and such. So it's really just something special to me, and like I said, the final battle is really cool. Orga ends up wanting to be like this new version of Godzilla, this clone, like absorbing his DNA and such, and the battle sort of goes back and forth a little bit, and meanwhile Katagiri's enacting this plan to blow up the UFO with this weird device thing, and he doesn't care that Shinoda's still in the building, and Shinoda escapes, and yeah. I don't need to go over the human stuff too much, I don't think, for you guys, but Godzilla's atomic ray ends up having a really good effect on Orga. It's definitely very damaging to it, and what ends up happening at the end is, even at some points, like these really tall buildings end up dropping on Godzilla. It's really cool, and and after Godzilla finally destroys the UFO part of it, Orga ends up, like opening up its mouth and, trying to swallow Godzilla whole, basically. But Godzilla goes in, and then he does this version of a nuclear pulse, which, of course, just completely destroys Orga from the inside and blows him in half. So yeah, I think that's a pretty cool finale. Just when you see Godzilla in there, and then you just see like his body slowly lighting up, you hear the effects for it. I think it's awesome. But yeah, then of course Godzilla survives, and he walks towards the building, and then he destroys a portion of it, killing Katagiri. Katagiri! Then, as Godzilla sort of walks away and leaves the others alone, Shinoda sort of, and the others sort of like question, like, why Godzilla would like help them at all, or not, or at least like not kill them after all that humanity has done to him. This is like a message or like an idea throughout many Godzilla movies, and they sort of start to recognize more of what he is, more along the lines of what they were thinking originally. So I like all that. And of course you have Godzilla, using his ray, to create that little cool shot before the credits roll. So yeah, those are my thoughts on the movie. I could go into more detail, but I just really wanted to celebrate my love for Godzilla in this first video. Some other Godzilla movies I'm kind of planning on reviewing I'm thinking about reviewing Godzilla vs. King Ghidorah from 1991. I'm thinking about doing the original film in 1954. I'm thinking about doing Godzilla Final Wars even. I know a lot of people are mixed on that one. But yeah, and I'll definitely be reviewing Godzilla Resurgence when I see it in my local theater next month on October 11th. I'm looking forward to talking about that, despite my fears about it. And yeah, so I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Share with me your thoughts on the movie, and maybe just talk about your favorite Godzilla movie, and just your experience, growing up with them, if you did. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. You can follow me on Facebook, Twitter, and I'll catch you guys next time. Like and subscribe. And peace.